प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु ज्ञानयोगश्लोकसङ्ग्रहः। अर्जुन उवाच अहो बत महत्पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद्राज्यसुखलोभेन हन्तुं स्वजनमुद्यताः। Conflict of Arjuna brought out here, and his buddhi supports. Yes, they are greedy of the kingdom. For the sake of influence and comforts, you are ready to kill your own people. Wrong, wrong. You are committing a big sin. What does Krishna Bhagavan say? He Bhagavan Uvacha api chedasi papebhyaha sarvebhya papakruttamaha sarvam jnana pravenaiva vrujinam santarishyase. Yes, you are not a sinner, really. As you are thinking that you are the biggest sinner and arguing, even assuming that you are right, assume that you are the biggest sinner of the world, there is a way out. What is that? That's the right knowledge, the jnana. Right knowledge can eradicate all your sins. Jnana pravenaiva. You enter into the boat of real jnana, then all such papas will all get eradicated. Then, what is that right knowledge? Who is eligible to get the right knowledge? Pranipata, Pariprashna and Seva, the three qualities of the student. And the Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, theoretical knowledge and experience both for the teacher. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Jnanina tattvadarshinaha. It should not only be knowledgeable, scholastic excellence, but they must have had the realization. They are the teachers. And students should have pranipata, pariprashna and seva. Seva is overcome the tamas. And prashna and pariprashna is for the rajasic dimension. And pranipata is essentially for the sattva, for the growth, ego reduction. And what is the right knowledge? Having said that the eligibility criteria for the student is there, jnana is there, what is the right knowledge that we get put there? That is the dimensions of reality. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So, what you are thinking that you are only this body, but understand there is the unchanging reality, the self. And this body is continually changing, continual flux of changes. But this is not all. You have an unchanging entity called self, Paramatma, self of all, at the base of all the changing. The changing is called the body, the Jagat, and that which is beyond is the self. These are the two dimensions of our existence, say. And in the Jagat or in the body, don't think that you have only this physical body. We have four more bodies, as we have been understanding: Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya, Koshas. And that which is beyond is our self, our true original nature. Veda vinashinam nityam yayenamajamavyayam katham sapurusha partha kam ghatayante. So if you understand this knowledge, Arjuna, how can anybody kill anybody else? The self cannot be killed, and the body only get killed. That's fine. So physical body only gets killed, but remaining four bodies still there. And we came to the next level is Sattva, the end. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasthaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. So, Krishna is telling you have to transcend the dualities. You have to transcend the three gunas: cold and heat, success and failure, praise and shame, happiness and misery are the dualities. This dvandvaha. You have to overcome that. And these are the dualities that constitute the mundane, materialistic world. He says you have to go beyond that. You have to go beyond the gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. What are three gunas? We saw. Tamas, which are by laziness, lethargy, drowsiness, sleepiness, stagnation, blocks, and inability to action. That is the dimension we have. So, tamas means the darkness, ignorance. Rajas, brightness, brilliance, sharpness, intelligence, speed. They all lead to the hypersensitivity or hyperacidity, and is featured by selfishness, ego predominance. So desire turning itself into greed, and ego turning itself into selfish totalness. Then the third is having all the good qualities of rajas, but at the same time, it is moving towards selflessness. Less and less for me, more and more to others. More and more to others. That start coming up. So we saw that the foundations for yama and niyama for yoga given by Patanjali, the 10 commandments, 10 commandments of Christ, 10 commandments of Manu, the Manu Dharma Shastra, all belong to this sattvic thing. 10 commandments of Patanjali or Christ or Manu, everything. This all 10 can be combined into only 3, dana, daya, and dhamma. And that can further simplified into only 2, renunciation and service. These are the twin ideas, Swamiji said. So we saw Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, Yamaha, Shaucha, Santosh, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara, Pranidhana is the set of the niyamas. So this all condensed into aspect of dana, daya, and dhamma, as we saw. Look at Manu's book on that. Dhritik Shamam, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha. Indriya Nigraha is Dhamma. Dhihi, Vidya, Satyam, Akrodha, Dashakam, Dharma Rakshanam. Manodharma Shastra says these are the dimensions, 10 dimensions of Dharma. And the 10 commandments of Christ. So worship no other gods but me. Do not make any idols. Do not misuse my name. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Respect your father and mother. Do not kill anyone. Do not be immoral. Don't steal. Do not witness falsely against anyone. And do not desire anyone's things. All are in tune with our dharma aspect. Sattva is so great. The sattvic people are the role models in the society. This being so, why is Krishna telling that you have to go beyond the sattva? That's the thing that we took up last time. So the persons who are highly dedicated to nation, spirituality, etc., are also suffering from modern anxieties. Why? And conflict arise in everybody's life. We had a wonderful conflict that Arjuna ended up with duty versus ethics, which is better of the two. It looks that ethics is better. Showing love, compassion, and everything is so good. It looks. Is it right? Which is right? Both are sattva. Similarly, one duty and another duty. Duty for the parent, duty for the wife, duty for the nation, duty for the parents. All these things cause the conflict. Why ethics? Why duty? What is the meaning of life? These are the questions that haunt all number of people at a particular stage in life. It's only here in the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata, and in Bhagavad Gita we have the complete solution to that. The solution is that you have to go beyond the gunas. These are the higher dimensions of Karma Yoga. So we saw how the different conflicts arise in everybody's life regularly. So why we have to go beyond? Such conflicts arise and such things happen even for the great people, sattvic people, because Krishna says guna is also a bondage. Bondage is the root cause. What is that bondage element? It is attachment to the results of action, done the sattvic way. And have intense attachment to the result that you want, and you are not getting the result, then you get lost, then you get tensed up, you get into large number of anxieties. And again, further deep, the whole creation is made of the three guna, and they're all bound by space, time, and causation. They're governed by the trifold law of Srishti, Sthiti, and Laya. And this is the bodily dimension that we have. So we have to go beyond the gunas to reach the highest level beyond Panchakoshas. So the Panchakoshas, in which we have attachment to the body, the pranamaya, manamaya, vijnana, anandamaya koshas, the bondage self is the attachment. You have to go beyond this. You have to detach completely from all the koshas. Even in the highest stage, there are all the ashtasiddhis. And Patni says you have to leave all that to reach the ultimate. That the dimension talked about. So a person, when he starts going on developing like this, he reaches such great heights, he becomes accomplished. But what are the characteristics of such a yoga master, such a gnani, such a great gnana yoga master? Arjuna asks, what is the qualities of such a person? Sthita pragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhikyam prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. So how does he sit, how does he walk, how does he talk, what does he do? All these things I want to know about that great master called Sthita Prajna that talks about dimension. So what is that dimension that he talks about? That is the dimension talked about in the second chapter. And that is the thing that we have. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sita pragnastadochyate. Second chapter, 55th verse. That the whole essence of that. What does it say? Yada sarvan kaman monogatan sarvan kaman yada prajahati. A partha. When a person who is completely free from all desires, Even the emergence of a thought is also a desire. PowerPoint, you are seeing? PowerPoint, are you seeing or not?
Yes, Guruji.
Hmm?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay.
We are seeing, but you have to put it on slideshow.
Because side model, huh?
Slideshow.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Monogatan sarvan kaman yada prajahati. Yada, when a person overcomes all desires. Here, jaha is to burn. Prakarshena jahati prajahati. So he completely burns up all the desires. Even a thought is a desire. Emergence of a thought is also a bondage. If a person can overcome all thoughts, overcome all the desires, then he is a Sthita Prajna. So he goes beyond the thoughts. Because according to Patanjali, Chitta is the one that is the base of the whole creation. And when Chittavritti Nirodha occurs, then tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Then you go back to your source. That is the dimension Italy. So that is the first point. Then when the mind goes into silence, it may happen that it may go into tamas, or a state of coma, or a state of highly mentally retarded state. Is it the one that we are talking about? Because there is silence there. That's why the second aspect comes up, that is in a state of wonderful, blissful awareness. Atmaneva atmana tushtaha. He is happy unto himself. He is all the time in that blissful awareness. Ananda. Tada Sthita Prajna iti uchyate. Then he is called as a Sthita Prajna. So there are two dimensions. One is the silencing of the mind. The result of that is that he is completely happy unto himself. Just happiness. That is the Anandamaya Kosha he has reached. Even in Vijnanamaya Kosha, there is the thinking. There is the activity going on. There is creativity and everything is there. But in the Anandamaya Kosha, the thoughts have just almost vanished. So, normally, Anandamaya Kosha is described as in our Sushupti. Sushupti is one phase. In Sushupti, there is unconsciousness. So, the deeper unconscious could be the coma, or a pathological state could be mental retardation, really mental retardation. Therefore, Patni makes it very clear. So, in the types of Chitta Vritti, Pramana, Viparaya, Vikalpa, and Nidra and Spruti, the whole storehouse of the memory, which are all there. The form of Sanchita Karma and Prarabdha Karma is all hidden there. So, that also has to be completely eradicated. So, that is the state of Ananda that you get there. So, there are two dimensions in the unmanifest dimension. That is Sushupti and the Samadhi, various levels of Samadhi, various levels of Sushupti. In Sushupti, we have the normal deep sleep without dreams. But in a state of mental retardation, also there is almost no thoughts which are there. Similarly, in the coma, it's a deeper unconscious, anesthetic unconscious. And all these things are states in which the thoughts have not manifested themselves. But they're all in a frozen form. There could be pathological state or there could be natural state. Natural state is the nidra. But then it is not the end. Patri describes after that you have the samadhis, various types of samadhis, 8 types of samadhis he talks about. In each of them, you are going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, and cleansing the inner sanchita karma and the prarabdha karma. And that samadhi is also a smriti. Therefore, the whole storehouse of memories come under the second dimension. The first is the sushupti, and there is the nidra and smriti. These are the two things Patli describes fully. Therefore, both these things, when you start transcending, when you start going beyond, then what's happening? Your ananda is increasing. As you go to deeper and deeper levels of samadhi, your ananda goes on increasing, increasing, increasing. The stage will come where ananda is so much that you are not attracted by anything outside. You're all the time happy unto yourself. And that is the state that is described here. So we can call it this as a state of Jivan Mukta. Sthita Prajna or the Jivan Mukta. The two main features therefore is freedom from all desires and thoughts and being all the time in the state in tune with itself with ananda, satisfied unto yourself. So these are the two dimensions that has been talked about. And the enunciation of such qualities, why we should talk about that extreme thing, what they use, it also delineates the sadhana, the path for attaining the same. What is the sadhana? First is, you are gone, silence your thoughts. Mana prashamana upayaha, calming down, calming down, calming down, calming down. And go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Silence. Then the second dimension, atmaneva atmana tushta. So you become satisfied unto yourself. You are happy unto yourself. You are blissful unto yourself. And that bliss also goes on increasing, increasing as you go deeper and deeper and deeper. As you go to the higher and higher levels of samadhi, then that happiness also increases more and more. In which you become less and less dependent on the external object for your happiness. So, whether you have something that you like or you don't have, that you are happy. Because understanding happiness in a state of peace is a state of silence. And that silence is the peace or the shanti or the silence that has been talked about. Therefore, the second dimension is to go to deeper and deeper silence. So, first is the silencing of the mind, calming down of the mind, tranquilizing the mind, silencing the mind. Prashamana upayaha. Mana prashamana upayaha yogaha. Yoga is to deeply tranquil the mind, calm down the mind, silence the mind. Mana prashamana upayaha yogaha. It been said by great sage Vasishtha. That is one dimension. But when the mind stops, hardly there are any thoughts. It doesn't mean that you have reached the highest. There is going to be jumps from one level to the higher level of consciousness. This is called the samadhi. So dhyana, in which the thoughts are getting vanquished, then you get into the samadhi. So when you get into the samadhi, there is going to be tremendous amount of bliss. Unparalleled bliss, as it's often explained by people who get this experience. So then you should be able to stand and sit or do whatever you like in that state of silence more and more, deeper and deeper. How long you have to be in the state of silence? As long as you want. Maybe half an hour, maybe 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, a day, 2, 3. No. That is the capacity one should have. Then the inner cleansing takes place and the samskaras inside go on reducing. That happens. So, is it ever possible to stay in that silence for long? It's the practice that we have to do. Every day maybe start with 5 minutes of calming down the mind, silencing the mind, tranquilizing the mind, go on doing it. And gradually increase it to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. When you get into the state of things for nearly 3 hours, then there's going to be a sudden jump, an explosion, an expansion of our normal consciousness into the higher thing. That is the first samadhi, samyak adhiyata iti samadhi. That your mind becomes one with that single thought. That could be anything. Your Ishtadevata, it could be silence, it could be calmness, it could be peace, it can be bliss and whatever. The mind will completely get merged into that state. And that is the first sadhana that is talked about. And in the encounter, you start becoming happier day by day. Therefore, there are two-dimensional approach to yoga practices. One is don't, another is a do. What is don't? You release from the bondage of all desires, all thoughts. Go on reducing the thoughts. Lesson thought, lesson less. Then the second is tuning to the bliss. Totally independent of external objects and ever satisfied at ourselves. Go on practicing. These are the two ways which have been put forth in yoga all dimensions. A set of do's, set of don'ts. Yama and Nema belong to that category. Yama is a set of don'ts, what you should not do. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha. Then what is to be done? Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani, Niyamaha. So therefore here also there are two dimensions. One is to negate. Don't do this, don't think of anything. The thought should go on reducing. And then you are going to ultimately transcend the thing. The second is tuning to bliss. Calmness is peace, peace is bliss, peace is the happiness. Go to deeper and deeper silence, deeper and deeper samadhis, then your bliss is going to increase tremendously. These are the two ways by which you do practice. So that gives us the dimensions of a Sthita Prajna. And we had the great example of Ramana Maharshi. The young person, he got the experience that his body is dying. He was unable to move the legs, then the body, then the hands, then the whole body could not move, as if he completely lost any control over the body. Then what happened? The breathing started reducing. Then the thoughts started vanishing. Almost no thought. And intellect, which normally becomes very active and starts thinking of newer things and newer approaches, solving the problems and so on, that also has to be nullified. And stay in that silence longer and longer. So as we stay longer and longer in that thing, there's going to be unraveling. That is taking us to the state what we call as samadhi, example and others. This is how we grow continuously by the two-fold approach. And contained in that is the overcoming of the constriction and promoting the expansionness. These are the two things that have been put forth in this beautiful thing. And Ramana Maharshi stayed in that silence Then he said, yes, I'm going to stay in that. Even when the wind is absent, I exist. Who is that I? So he just sat in that silence for hours together. Then gradually, days together, and maybe months and years together, he was able to stay in that silence. And that brought him to the level of this Sthita Prajna. All the time being happy in the serene silence which forms the blissful state. That all was brought forth so beautifully in Ramana Maharshi's life. And this is the whole secret that Paul Brunton learns. As you know, Paul Brunton was a brilliant journalist from England, and he was interested in spirituality, wanted to know what is the truth. So he came and wandered around in Himalayas and wrote that beautiful book, My Secret Search in Himalayas. But he was not satisfied. He was so brilliant, nobody could answer his questions. But somebody told, why don't you go to Ramana Maharshi in the south, in Tiruvannamalai? And he was very sincere. He came all the way. And then he asked the manager of the ashram, sir, can you give an appointment with Ramana Maharshi tomorrow? And he says, no need for appointment. You come. Morning every day, we have got morning his meditation session. Everybody will come. He'll be meditating. At the end of the meditation center, you can talk to him. It's very simple. Then he comes and he prepares himself. How he is going to start the transaction. He will ask first question, this question. And if he answers this way, he will ask this question, this question, this question, and that's gone. If he answers this way, this other thing. He went on calculating how he's going to do. Just like a chess player, he does that thing. Everything was prepared, it was fine. When he was sitting there, all people were sitting in silence. Ramana Maharshi also was in deep silence. And he started thinking, okay, if I ask him this way, he will answer like this, like this, like this. Or this way I have to go, which way I have to go. Also on thinking and thinking. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, slowly he started feeling a sort of serenity. The blissful silence started coming onto him as if, and slowly his thoughts started vanishing. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, he was in a wonderful state of happiness. And that wonderful silence he was able to get. So when the session was over, then Ramana Maharshi beckons him, and he comes there, stands in that tall is Namaskar, Namrata. What is the problem? Ramana asks. Sir, I have searched all over Himalayas. I never found an answer to my question. Today, I have found the answer. That you have to transcend the thought. So, now all my questions have dissolved, and I am in that state of silence. This is the whole essence. So you go deeper and deeper into silence, and that silence takes you to the samadhi, and ultimately the samadhi will lead to the highest level of kaivalya. So with that, we close today's session, and any questions that you have, you may put forward, and in our next session, we are going to have the question and answers, and also the deeper dimension associated with this wonderful shloka, which always I loved the most, and that's the one that gave the two-dimensional sadhana approach to us. So thank you very much. We close as usual with Shanti Mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.